Today we're going to be discussing which is the better option, the 22 Mag or WMR or the 17 HMR. Now this is always a fun subject for me because I love both calibers, and today we're going to figure out which one we should pick, if we're just going to have one or maybe we need both of them. Well, let's find out. Alright, so this video is going to be a lot of my personal experiences with both of these because I've had this one since I was a kid, the 22 Magnum. One of my buddies picked up the 17 when they first came out in an old Marlin, and boy, I tell you what, I fell in love with it quickly and I had to pick one up. So I've had a lot of years of experience, and this is basically going to be just my experiences with these two. We're basically going to go over a few things like the type of critters that you can get with these, how far you can plink with these, the kind of energy we could expect from them, and then you guys can make up your own mind, but I'm going to give you my personal opinion at the end of this video, which one everybody should have. Now, both of these cartridges, they've been out for quite a while now. This one, I believe, came out in the 50s, and this one in 2002. But first, let's look at the king, the grandpa, the 22 WMR. Now, with most of my plinking, I've done the 40 grain hollow point, like a CCI, and a few other ones, but usually I stick with the CCI 40 grain hollow point. That's the one my plinker likes the best. Now, the 22 Magnum is a great all-around cartridge. I mean, you could take critters all the way up to and including coyotes. Now, is it the best recommendation of coyotes? No. The ideal ranges for the 22 Magnum that I have found has been out to 125 yards. This little guy is fairly accurate out to there. Now, once we cross that line, accuracy starts to wane. My range carries up to a 200-yard backstop, and this guy will carry 8 inches of drop. That's quite a bit. And a quick Google search will tell you that this is only packing about 100 feet per second. Now that's enough to take a squirrel, but you still got to deal with a whole bunch of drop. Now let's look at the 17 HMR. This guy, I would go everything smaller than a coyote, but it is laser flat. That's the draw to the 17. Now I've taken coyotes with this, but it has to be behind the ear. If you're trying for a boiler room shot, you're not going to find them. They will run off. You'll find them a week later piled up in a bush somewhere, but it's just not ideal. So that's why I say for the 17 HMR, anything smaller than a coyote, this thing's ready to roll. Now the cool thing with the 17 HMR is at 200 yards, it only has a 4-inch drop. What that means is you can take squirrels at 200 yards fairly easy with this. You aim just above the head, bingo, center mass. This thing rocks about 130 foot-pounds of energy at the 200-yard mark. So we're going to take this squirrel fairly easy. Now, when you look at them side by side, all a 17 HMR is a 22 Magnum that's been necked down to accommodate that 17 bullet. So it's the same case. I mean, these two are brothers. You got the big brother, little brother. One of my favorite things to hunt with a 17 is groundhogs and crows. One of my furthest shots that I've taken with a 17 HMR was about 210 yards on a groundhog. Lights out, no problems. Over the years, I've done several videos on the 17 and the 22 Magnum, but which one is better for your application? Well guys, let me tell you what, a 17 in my book is an absolute must because you can reach out there and you can touch stuff just a touch further. But what about the wind drift with the 17? Hit that up on your ballistic calculator on your phone. You're gonna be surprised. That's a 17 grain projectile versus the 40. Do it. 200 yards, see what happens. You might be surprised. Now, if your main goal is to go for coyotes or something like that and you want to use the rimfire, of course, definitely pick up the classic, the 22 Magnum. It's a great all-around caliber. These will both blow up squirrels at close range, so it's more of an ideal thing at longer ranges if you're going to squirrel hunt with one of these, which is a blast to do, set up a couple 100 yards away and pick squirrels off a hillside. Oh, that is a fun thing to do. In order to do that with a 22 Mag, you're going to have to dial for that because that is quite a significant drop, whereas the 17, once you set your scope at about 100 yards, bingo, she's on. 4-inch drop at 200 yards, that's pretty easy to do with just using your reticle. That's not a problem. In my opinion, both of these are necessities and everybody's safe, but if you just had to pick one, what would you pick? I'm going to say a 17 HMR. Not saying the 22 Magnum is bad by any means, because I love this little caliber. But if I'm going to be after something with a rimfire, I want to tag it at the maximum distance with a little bit more energy downrange. And one of the only reasons why I say that is because I'm going to use a 223 for coyotes anyway. Is that saying that the 22 mag is worthless? Absolutely not. You should always have a 22 Magnum. This is a great cartridge. Absolutely love it. I'll never say a bad thing about it. But if it was my choice between the two, I'm probably going to pick the 17 almost every time. So I got to know, what is your favorite, the 17 or the 22 mag? Honestly, guys, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer for this. It's all a matter of personal opinion. This debate's gone on since the 17 come out, and I honestly believe they're both great cartridges. Either one you pick up, you should be fine with, but we all have our personal favorites. Guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, let's keep it cheap.